we will see how to fork a repository and raise a PR. So basically, okay, so you have to raise a PR. PR is nothing but pull request. Okay, what is a pull request? Okay, so this code base, right? We have a project called KSMS. This has some code. So where it is deployed, it is available, in GitHub.com. So our code is, this is the internet. In the internet, you have this GitHub server. So our code is available in our KSMS code is available in this GitHub, right? In ksms.git. Okay, so now there are many people who are going to work in this project, right? Let's assume this is the internet. Okay, let's have this is a PC of let's say this is Shilpa. Then somebody else is there in the internet, let's say Mala. Let's have somebody else, Sala. Okay. And Bala, right? Everybody is working on this code base, right? Now when everyone has to collaborate and work on this code base, everybody cannot change this code at the same time, right? That will create a chaos, that will create a problem. So uh, how everyone, how if all the four people can work in this code base? Okay, the one way is the code is available in GitHub. First they have to download the code to the local machine. Okay, so for that they can use the git command, git clone, which will download the code to the local machine. Okay, so once the code is downloaded to a local machine, then they can make the changes. You make the changes. Okay, you can modify your file. Okay, after making the changes, you want to see what are the changes you have made, you can do git diff. It will show you what are the changes you have made. Okay, and then you want to see right now available, right? Who made the changes, what are the major changes available in GitHub? You can use git log. That will display you all the informations in your code base, right? For example, okay, we will see all this git log and all this practically, but let me tell you first what are the different commands available. Okay, so you can change what are the, who made the changes, all these things you can change, you can see using git log. Okay, now you have made the changes, right? And after making the changes, this is after, so you can see the changes, and after making the changes, right, what you have to do, you have to obviously push your changes to this repository, right? For that, what you have to do is, first you have to commit to your local repository. You have to git commit to a local repository. You have git clone, right, which means you have downloaded the code here to your machine. So that is you have created a code base in your local PC, that is a local repository. So you made a changes, you have to commit your changes to the local repository. So you made a commit, right? And then to push your changes to the remote repository, you can do a git push. Okay, so till this point it is okay. When you do a git push, right, it will not allow you to push your changes to the remote repository, because this is maintained by somebody. Everyone cannot push their changes there, right? Everyone, when they make some changes, they can break something, they can create some problem to this code base. So usually you will not have permission to push your changes here. So how to push your changes is, for that only you have to raise a PR. That is what is pull request, which is you are requesting the maintainer of this code base to pull your changes. You have made a changes, you are requesting him to pull your changes to this. So how to raise this pull request, right? What you have to do is, first you have to fork this repository. Okay, second, you have to create a dev branch. After forking, after forking, what will happen is, when you fork, right, So this GitHub account, let's say this code is maintained by Freshkite. So this will be in Freshkite Git account. Okay. Now Shilpa will have his own Git account, right? And Bala will have his own Git account. Okay. When you fork, right, in your GitHub repository, a copy of this code base will be available in your GitHub repository. So in a GitHub, this is for Freshkite account, and let's assume that another in the GitHub itself, there is one more account for Shilpa. So one more for Shilpa account also, a copy of this code base will be created when you fork. Okay, so when you fork, a copy will be created in your GitHub account, in Shilpa's GitHub account. Okay, and then in that GitHub you have to create a dev branch, and then you have to make the changes here in the dev branch. Make changes here. Okay, and then you have to commit your changes. Git commit. Okay, after committing changes, and then you have to do a git push. Okay, so when you do a git push, so you are doing a git push from your dev branch, right? When you do a git push, that time your PR will be raised. Pull request will be raised automatically. So when a pull request is raised, it will contain what changes you have done. So whoever is there in the project, right, they will review a code. They will see, if there is any comments, they will pass their comments in the pull request itself. And then after you incorporate your comments and everything, you show your unit test report and all, then they will merge your pull request. So then after that only your pull request will be merged to their code base. This is a process we follow to get your changes into the common code base. This is how you have to contribute to open source also. What is open source? Let's assume that this KSMS project is open source, which means what? This source is open to everybody and everybody can contribute to this code base. That is what is open source. Okay, so now let's fork this repository and then we'll try to create a pull request. And one more important thing here is when you try to push your changes, right? Before that, you have to pull your changes. Otherwise, you will not be allowed to push. For example, okay, 3 days before, right? This KSMS Git, right? This KSMS Git, 3 days before, Shilpa cloned this and she forked and she cloned this. Okay, she cloned everything and then she made a changes. Okay, 2 days before, Bala cloned this and then he made a changes and he already pushed the changes. So Bala changes went in before Shilpa changes, right? Now if Shilpa tried to push her changes, it will give an error because some new changes have went in. So you have to pull the changes, you have to be in the latest and then only you can push your changes. So before making any changes, first pull the latest changes. Make changes on top of the latest code base and then try to push your changes. Okay, now we will see how to fork the repository. Okay, so when you go to that particular repository, you got log into a GitHub account. I have logged into my account. Okay, I am going to that particular repository. Just type the URL in the browser and you go to the repository. Now there is a fork button here. Click that. Okay, and then see here there's a tick for copy main branch only. So it will copy the main branch only. There are a lot of branches. I want all the branches in my thing, and then you click this create fork. Okay. Now, see now there is a repository created in your account. This is my account, right? This is repository created and the code base is created here. Now what I am going to do is I am going to clone this repository. I'm copying this. See now the repository is in SK Bala REC-hub, right? It is my in my account. The repository is in my account. I'm going to clone this. Okay, this is git bash. After you install git bash, it will. This is a terminal. Now I want to clone my forked repository. So this is my forked repository. I have copied it. I'm pasting it here. I'm sorry. So now it is getting cloned. Okay. Now I got the code base, right? So now if I do a git branch, so it is in the main branch. If I go to git branch -a, it will show you all the branches. Okay. Now what I have to do? I have to. So this is a branch. I need to make the changes. Okay. Now I have to create a dev branch. Okay. So first I have to create a dev branch. Before creating a dev branch, right? I want to make changes to this branch. Okay. So what is branches in Git? It is not very complex stuff, right? See, this is our code base, right? We have a this is a GitHub, and we have put a code, right? The ksms.git is available. Let's assume this is a software. Okay, we want we want to give this software to a customer. Okay, what we'll do is currently you are making all the changes in the main branch. All the changes will be going in one branch. Okay. Now what I want is I want to give a software to the customer, right? If I take the software from the main branch and give to the customer, many people are changing the code, so it will have problems. So what I will do is I will create a branch from here, okay, and I will call it customer name, some customer, right? Okay, I'm creating a customer named Shiva. Shiva is a customer for this software. I'm creating a customer name, and this is a branch for it. Okay. Now the changes will not be whatever changes I'm doing, right? Any feature, new feature I'm adding, that will be going to the main branch. This branch will not be affected. Okay, the customer is happy. I'm creating the build from this branch, and I'm giving to the Shiva. Okay, Shiva is happy. So now any changes you make here, right, which is not going to affect Shiva. You will any bug you are putting here, right? If you're making changes, there will be some bugs you will be putting. That bugs will not be affected in this branch. Okay. Now Shiva needs a feature to be implemented. He needs a new feature. Okay. That's also needed by other customers. So I will implement the feature here, test the feature, and that feature alone I can merge in this branch. Okay, so this is the advantage of having branches in your for your code base. Understand? So now now all the changes we are doing, right, for this software, it is going to be in the services branch. Now I'm going to switch to services branch. Okay. Now how to do it is git checkout. What's the branch name? Services. So now it is going to the service branch. Now if I do a git branch, it will be in services. Okay, so to raise a PR, right, I have to create a development branch. Okay, so now I'll create a development branch, create git branch. I'll put a development branch as dev underscore bala. Okay, so our new branch is created locally. This is created in a locally, right? Now I am going to that branch git checkout dev underscore bala. Okay, now if I do a git branch, so dev underscore bala is here. Okay, so now let's try to make a change, okay, to this, and then try to raise a PR. Now I want to make the changes to the code base. So for what I can do is that in the git bash, right, I can put code dot. When I put code dot, the current folder, it will be opened in VS Code. So my code is now opened in VS Code. Okay, this is the folder. So I have a client folder which has the front end code, and I have the server folder which has the back end code. Okay, let's make a small change. I'll go to app.js and I will introduce a command. I'll introduce a command saying that import login and navbar components. Okay, this is the command, and then I have saved the file. So I have made a changes here. Okay, so now if I go to here, if I do a git def, the change is imported here. Plus symbol changes it, a new line is added, right? And if I remove this, if if I remove existing command, this is existing command, right? I have removed it. Okay. Now if I do a git def, I have added a new line and I have removed a new line. So new line added will have as the plus symbol and shows in green. This line I have removed from the existing code, right? That shows as minus. This is what you will see in a git diff. Okay, so this is I am in a dev branch, right? So what I have to do is first, if I put a git status, it will show this as modified. Okay, so before committing any changes, right, I have to get this file to the staging directory. Okay, I can do either way. That there is two ways to do. First thing, I can do a git add and I can give this file name. Okay, so once I added, right, if I do a git status, you see now before it was red, now it is green, which means that it has added to a staging directory. Okay, so before it is like if you want to take a photo of somebody, right, you ask them first, you have to come to the stage and then you take photo. So like that, if you want to commit any changes, first you have to get to the staging directory. For that, you have to do a git add. Okay, and then you can commit. Git commit. So still it is showing in git def. See, once you add to the staging directory, it is not part of git def. Okay, now if I want to commit, right, commit to a local repository. So if I put a git log, I can see what are the changes. Many people have done the changes, right? So this is a description, this is the changes. Now, if I want to see what are the changes, particularly this change, right? What is the change? If I want to see, you have to do git show and the commit ID. If I put enter, I can see the changes here. So this is added, right? All the things. Plus symbol is add, right? And this is removed. This is the change he has done. So this is why this Git is a version control tool, right? It keeps track of who did the changes and what are the changes. And using Git tool, you can do it. Okay. Okay. Now I have to commit. Okay. So how did you add to a staging directory? Using git add. Okay. You can do a commit like git commit. If you do a git commit, it's already added to the staging directory, right? If you put -a, suppose there are multiple files you have to commit. Now there is only one file. If you put multiple files to commit, you can put git-a, and then you can have a commit message -m, and you can give a commit message like this, right? Added command. Okay, so this will commit your changes to the local repository. Okay, one more way is I am not putting a comment here. I am just putting git commit -a, and if I put enter, see now it is telling that I am not able to commit because I didn't configure the username and email. Okay, because when you commit, right, Git has to know who commits the changes, right? So let's make first configure this. First email, let configure it. Okay, so this is my email, right? This is skbalarec@gmail.com. Okay, and then what is the username? Bala Shanmugam, and this is not email, this is name. So I configured both the things. Okay, now I am going to commit. Okay, so now you see this is opening in a Vim editor. By default, it is opening in a Vim editor. Now I can add a command. What is the command? Basically, right, how people add a command here is there will be a heading here. Okay, suppose usually in a company, right, you are making a change means what? You are addressing any issue. Okay, so in a company, usually how it happens is it will be like they have they usually people will be tester will be there, right? They will be testing our product, and if they find issue, they will raise the issue in a platform called Jira. Okay, so in this platform, it will give a description of the issue. There will be a issue ID. Let's say 707, and it describes the issue that when I go to this one and this is not working like that. Okay, so you are a developer. This issue will be assigned to you. You will go through the issue, and then you will see what is the issue. Then you go, you fix it. Let's assume that this is the issue and it is telling the command is not proper. You go, you went and address the issue, right? Okay. So here usually you can mention the issue ID like ID 707. What is the issue? The issue, just put the issue itself. Commands are not proper. That is the issue mentioned in this Jira. Now this is the issue, right? Now how you fixed it? Okay, now here you can mention what is the issue. Issue is improper commands, and then you can mention your fixes addressed all improper commands. What is the fix? How you fix the issue that you can mention, and then you can mention testing done. What is the testing you have done? What are the different test cases? Okay, this is the case of opposite, right? You can mention started the server and did basic testing. So this is how your git commit should be, right? What is you are making some change, right? What is the change you are making? How you fixed it, and what testing you have done? If it is a feature, right, you can mention what is the feature and what means it. Little bit, you need not be very elaborate, so that people looking into your change, right, will have idea, right? So this is a Vim editor. Do a escape, and then you have to come out of the editor. Before you have to put colon and WQ. See here, colon and WQ to come out of the editor. Now my change is committed to the local repository. If I put a git log, oh, I think some extra thing I have done it. I think the same address. So I can change this. What I can do is I can do a git commit hyphen amend. So going into this, right? This is like this and all I don't need, right? This is all resumed. To delete a line is dd in Vim editor. I'm deleting these lines. Okay, and then I'm committing it again. Now if I do a git log, see how is this commit? I'm seeing like this, right? It's properly is easy to read. See these changes and all, final changes, large changes. I don't know anything about this. Here you have a brief idea of what changes you have done. You are contributing to open source, you have to put a commit message like this. Properly done, right? So now I'm coming out. Q to come out of your Vim editor. Anything when you do a git log and all, right? If you want to come out, press Q to come out. Now it is there in our local code base. Where it is? It is in which branch? It is in dev branch, dev bala. Now I want to push this branch to my repository. I have forked this repository, right, in my SK Bala hub account. I want to push this branch. Okay, now what's the command to push this branch? Git push origin. Origin is nothing but your remote repository. What is your remote repository? If you go to, if you cat the .git config, right? So this is your remote repository. This is your origin. So to this repository, what I am pushing? Push origin. So origin is nothing but your remote repository. Okay. To this origin, what I am pushing? I am pushing my branch. Okay. This will push our branch to the our remote repository. This remote repository. So when I try to push it, it is showing me this pop-up. Okay, which is asking me to sign in, right? So I'm just trying to sign in with my browser. So when I click sign in with the browser, it has created a pull request. Create a pull request for Bala on the GitHub. So this is how when I do a git push, I'm getting a URL like this, right? I'm just copying it. Control Z here to copy it. Control Z. Okay, and then I'm going to the browser and pasting this URL. So I just copy pasted the URL after the git push, which I got it here. Okay, this URL I copied, I paste in the browser, I got this. Okay, now I have to, this is, I have forked the repository here, right? From here, I'm trying to push the changes to the Freshgate actual repository. So to which branch I want to push? I want to push these changes to services branch. So I'm switching services branch here. Okay, so this is a change, right? It is automatically coming, commands are popper, and this is how it comes. While creating the pull request also, I can add anything here. Suppose I want to add any by dragging and dropping. Suppose I want to add any files here, right? Which has the unit test case results. I can add it here. Okay, and then I'm allowed. Then I'm creating a pull request. Okay. Okay, so the pull request is created now. Okay, so I have no conflicts with the base branch. So after you create the pull request, right, the maintainer, right, the maintainer is a Freshgate, right, you get a mail here like this. So what the maintainer has to do, you merge or this pull request at. Okay, so I'm just going to this pull request. So the maintainer will go to the pull request. He can see the changes. Okay, see files change, he will go and see he's changing the changes here, right? So he can add a comment here. Why did you remove this command? Okay, and then he can start a review here. Okay, so the maintainer has given a command. Okay, so the maintainer can give a commands and click finish review. Okay, so this is command. I'm not approving it. See, the changes is not approved. I'm requesting changes. You have to do a changes here. Okay, the review command is here. So I'm submitting my review. Okay, so once the review is submitted, okay, the changes are requested, right? So you will get a notification. The maintainer is giving comments on you, so you will get a notification. Okay, see, in your account, okay, in your GitHub account, you are seeing the changes. Okay, now you can reply here. You can reply here, or you can modify this code and you can submit it again. Okay, I removed a comment unnecessarily, so I have to add that comment back. Okay, so for that, what I will do is first I will see what is the change. I will do a git show. Git show will show the changes in the top commit. Okay, so this is the top commit, right? This line is removed. Okay, I will copy that line. I will go to my code and I will paste the line again. Okay, I will save it. Okay, so now what has happened? Thus, I will change the. I will see. I will be able to see that in the GitHub. The line which I removed, right? I have added it again here. Okay. So the maintainer is asking me why I removed this. By mistake, I have removed it. Now I am adding it again. I have to update my PR with this change, right? So for that, what I will do is I will commit this change and I will amend it to the previous commit. I will not create a new commit. What amend will do? That is already a commit, right? Git log. This is the top of the commit, right? I'm amending my change to the previous commit itself. I'm not going to create a new commit message like this. Okay. So for that, what I will do? Git commit hyphen a hyphen hyphen amend. If I do this, it will again showing this editor. I'm not going to change anything here. So I just coming out colon WQ. Okay. Right. Now I have updated my existing commit. Again I have to do a git push origin and then dev underscore bala. So this, okay, did fail due to some reference. Okay. Okay. So because this tip of your current branch is behind, it's telling. Okay. It is asking to git pull and then push again. Okay. Let's do a git pull. So it showed error because our branch is not to the letter. So what I did is I pulled the branch, okay, and then I did a git status git log, and then I pushed it. So now it is pushed. Okay, so now let's go and check the PR. Okay, so now what I've done is I have made the changes, right? I have added the comment in the code base. Okay, and I have committed that to the local. I have just pulled the latest code from Devbala, and then after pulling, I am pushing these changes. Whatever changes, right? I am pushing it here. So once I push it, right? So first it shows me rejected, and then I pulled the latest changes, and then I did a git push. After pushing the changes, it is updated the PR. Okay, so after it updated the PR, right? When I go refresh, I removed the command change, right? The command change is not seen here. Only the change which I added the command. So this is how you have to update the PR, right? So this is the method you need to follow to make changes to the existing code base.